Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? So, our Lord, our crazy, Gray, who rhymes Gray with every single thing known to man. I don't know. This show definitely is it's a sleeper, I feel like. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I think a lot of people are giving it kind of a bad rep just for whatever cause, they want to or whatever they feel like it. But to be fair, I don't care what these people are saying because none of them have even conveyed me in a way that makes sense why they think it's trash. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only sad part about the community when it comes down to this show right now is it's more prominent to be negative towards this show than positive because of how many negative people are already out there practically. That's just how I see it at this point. Like there's like some people that really enjoy it on Twitter and stuff like I do, but then I get on YouTube and everybody's like, "It's trash. It's so bad. It's so bad. Why is it bad? It's just so bad. You know. You know what I'm saying? No, like I might as well just start blocking those people because they obviously can't convey anything intelligent after saying it's bad. So it's a waste of my time because they're bad at speaking. And I don't even feel bad about that. I mean, this episode from last week literally gave us, a good mystery. Not only was it a mystery to the case of like what actually is going to happen, who is actually at fault, and when we do learn what happens, it's no one's fault, and I think that's what people get mad about, I guess, is, oh, it should have been someone evil working the, like, no, like, okay, so you think someone who's trying to overall fix a situation and come into a situation late, not knowing anything about it, like hit the son or something along those lines, and you expect him to be the murderer to murder his own father. Like it's those are too obvious of stories to me. You know what I mean? Like it feels way too obvious, and I should have brought a ninja just in case. Um, to just be like, oh, yeah, that guy killed his dad because he wanted to be alone with that fairy. Story over. You nailed it. Like no, like who taught these people how to write, and that's what kind of scares me about the community is they want these things that's been done always, in my opinion. Like everything I've usually seen, it's already been done. And that's kind of the big problem with a lot of these things nowadays is people want things that have been done. Hold on a second, I have a call. I do apologize for that phone call really quick. Someone was offering me food, and yeah, your boy gotta eat. But yeah, the show definitely can go far. It's just the fact of will it go far now that people are acting the way that they are, and not to mention it, how far does the source material already go? Like that's one of the big things is how much story is there to tell amongst this, and like some people have been saying to me and like how I've been expressing this whole time, this is Fate Zero area, okay? This is Fate Zero stuff in general. And if you seen Fate Zero and had any type of love for it, this should be right up your alley. But because it doesn't have Saber, because it doesn't have Gigamesh, because it doesn't have Nameless, because it doesn't have all these people, that no one wants to watch it. No one cares to see it. No one's dying in the grand scheme by some, master servant or whatever. And I don't know. It's annoying. It's really a shame, but whatever. People can express themselves any way they want. It's just like I was saying. It's not gonna unless you can convey me differently of how the show is and why it's bad and such and such. There's no way I'm stopping watching it because I'm enjoying it. I mean, this episode of Gray actually pulling out what's the true form of her spear was fire. Seeing that it has something to do with Saber or King Arthur, it's pretty dope. I mean, it was kind of obvious by looking at her, and for some reason he even said that Gray is the same age as King Arthur was, or something along those lines. So King Arthur was young, bro. Like she looks like she's super super young, but it could just be, you know, the way that she's brought about is why she looks that way or something along those lines. I'm not really sure yet, but she pulls out her noble plasma pretty much, and it's the spear of King Arthur that I didn't even know about. I didn't even know King Arthur had a spear, so that might be something I need to look up in the history and see if this was an actual thing, or if because King Arthur always has her sword on her, um, you can't really take that away from her, and you can try to take the next best thing. But this spear, that attack it looked pretty dope. Not only did she practically need to, sit still and take a long time to summon it, um, it had a very very powerful, cost to that long summoning period, which was really good. Um, and not only that, like the monsters that we see in this week, the black dogs that pretty much devour lightning to become like bigger, and then they are practically lightning at one point, and this ginormous dog that they create is just like absorbing every other dog. So I don't know. I really did like how they drew that out and how it looked overall. But then at the end of the day, to see, this girl who was, oh, we can handle this crime scene by ourselves. We already know who the suspect is. We already blah 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 blah. You notice the girl who was like pointing all the fingers and really mad at him, and like he knew her and he was supposed to get married, the guy with the fairy eyes, and how at the end of last week's episode it was just all of a sudden she got struck by lightning and I think she's dead. It's like, wait, what? Like, so she really did die off screen, and we didn't even hear about her the next episode after she died off screen? Okay, that was the most messed up death I've ever seen in a while. Like, you die at the after, so you know how many people watch the end credits? Not a lot. And then the end credits come up. She supposedly passes away after the end credits are done. And then after that, the next episode shows up and they don't even reference really her anymore. Like she was just a thing that was in an episode, and we've already forgot about her, so you should forget about her too. That was pretty messed up, man. But what it came down to was it seems like there might be a little bit of a trend going on here with this whole workshops going AWOL type of deal. I'm pretty sure this is the second workshop we've seen that was just, capable of doing so much, or it was already doing so much that once it stopped working functionally, it had to, find a way to continue to live on its own. But in this case, it was always kind of the father's intention to have this workshop kind of killing people off to get its source of power, seemingly. So it makes a lot of sense why all of a sudden, if he wanted to do anything else with the power or anything else with what he was achieving, that the elf or the person that helped him get to said point would see it as a betrayal and winds up taking his life for quote unquote portraying her. So um, I don't know. It's a very interesting story. Not only that, the guy who his father got bodied by this elf. For some reason, the son now is still in love with the elf and wants to visit over to the other side, which kind of made sense and it didn't. I think if he didn't visit the other side of the portal, this gate that was open after all this battling would have stayed open. Like, I don't think the fairy gate would have closed if he actually decided to stay, because then she would have had someone with fairy eyes on the other side that she's connected to, where she could just, you know, pretty much communicate and try to get something like this workshop off the ground again or something like that. So it was pretty smart to take him out, but I mean, we've seen a lot of characters come and go already in this show, so I'm guessing that's going to be more of the same. Like, we're just going to see a lot of characters who are in positions where either it's partly their fault for being there, or, you know, it's not their fault at all and they still just want to sacrifice themselves to allow other people to live better lives and stuff like that. I'm just interested to see how it all plays out. I mean, this show is definitely one that I am interested in simply because of Fate Zero, which, I mean, that's also one huge part of the story for me, is that one of the best shows that I didn't even know about, and Fate comes out, I watch it all, lose my mind, and then after a while they start, you know, veering away from that crazy over the top stuff like that was happening in Fate Zero, and not going away with it. They started going more towards the crazy, ridiculous stuff with the shows further down the line. And then all of a sudden, you know, they come back to this and it's the complete opposite. It's not people being able to move parts of the earth and throw it at people and stuff like that, or someone who can summon down all these swords and destroy them. It's really just simple people at this point, you know, simple problems that are going on that can be handled with simple solutions. Well, maybe not simple solution, but it can at least be handled by a solution instead of just giving up on it, you know. So that's already a pretty big difference in all of this, as well as, you know, Fate Zero, where they're kind of just like, oh, okay, well, if there's an enemy that I need defeated, I'll just grab my servant and destroy him, or I don't even need my servant, I'll just go assassinate him. You know, like, that was just the show of Fate Zero. And this show is more, hey, these people who are mad geniuses, who are very intelligent and have the, you know, the power to make ridiculous amount of different things, we get their stories in the case of, like, why would you become evil? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? And I like it because it gives a little bit more of a uh, background to how crazy people were in Fate. Like, we had people literally sacrificing their whole entire bodies for power, and we didn't understand how or why you could even do that. You know, like, how did they find out about a way to do that? And then after finding out a way to do it, why would you continue to do it? You know, unless there's a reason for it. And that's really what this show is kind of touching on, is all of these outside techniques to make people stronger or make people supposed gods and this and that is really being tampered with. And it's almost like the cops are coming in and finally taking care of these people who have been doing it for however long and getting away with it, just like this guy with the workshop who had destroyed a lot more spirits than they actually had known about, and they find out the hard way. So if you are someone that dislikes a show, just stop watching it. Leave the community, do something else. Go find something you actually enjoy because guess what? You can actually be, like you can convey something a lot better if you did that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just here to talk trash about shows or you're here just to, give negative feedback about whatever you think is bad, then have a good reason behind it. Don't just say it's bad because that means you're just as worse, like you can't even say why you think something's bad. You're clearly going off of whatever else someone else says and you're acting as if that's not what you're doing, which is the funniest thing because if you can't convey to me something that you yourself feel, then how did you feel it? How did you get to that point? So, uh, just understand people that there is a better way of doing things, and to just follow the leader isn't always the best thing to do. I mean, it's a thing you can do for sure, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, with all that being said, have an awesome day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and just go out and enjoy whatever you enjoy, because if you don't, you're going to be looking like an idiot when you find something you do enjoy and people go in on it and start talking trash and you can't even convey why you like what you like. So that's enough for me. All right, everybody. Peace out and thank you again.